Well, Jason and Shelly, I'm glad that we're able to meet today for our second session. And as you know, I took some notes during our first session, and I'd like to just kind of summarize those a little bit so we can just review what we talked about last week and then pick up and go on from there. And two things that I really caught a hold of from last week were that you feel like your marriage is drifting apart, and in part you are attributing that to disagreements over parenting styles for your kids. But what I'd really like to focus on today is that feeling of drifting apart in your marriage. And so I've given it some thought this week, and I'd just like to start with this question today. What expectations are you bringing into your current marriage from past relationships? And I know, Jason, this is your second marriage, and Shelly, this is your third. So there could be expectations that you are bringing from your past marriages. And also even what you experienced growing up, what you observed in your own parents' relationships, because I know that impacts your current marriage as well. So I'd just like to give you an opportunity now to kind of share what you feel like you're bringing into the marriage expectation-wise.
Well, I grew up, Mom took care of us kids. She knew us. She knew what we needed. She was in charge of discipline, structure, and Dad knew that she spent most of her time with us. And he went along with what she thought was best. I don't get that here. Jason, we don't see eye to eye.
Yeah, I mean, I've got
anything.
Growing up for me, I mean, my dad, I mean, he was a good dad, and my mom, she, listened to him, which is totally different than, Shelly, it's like she doesn't listen to me, and then with our kids, Shelly just
But
wants to
I
always
spend most of my time with him.
like time out.
I see stuff he doesn't see.
The kids need to be loved, and she just is always like disciplined.
And he's not
disciplined,
listening to
and she's always interrupting me like this. So, but anyway, the kids, they love me. I'm a good dad, and I feel like Shelly's just bringing this negative,
Because I
just
try
always
to
putting them in
establish
time out, and
consequences. There are consequences.
That's it.
I'd like
He
to
does
interrupt
this
just
all
a
the time.
moment. What I'd like to have us do, I have an idea here. I think sometimes, when we get caught up in an argument and in a situation, it's easy for emotions to come, they cloud our ability to think rationally, and they can distort the situation overall. So what I'd like to suggest is that we do an exercise called STOP. And STOP is an acronym. S stands for stop itself, stopping the conversation or just taking a moment before you proceed with the situation. And T stands for taking 3 breaths. And these are to be, very slow breaths to give you a chance to just kind of calm yourself and to get a hold of your thoughts and your emotions in the situation. O is for observe. So you are observing, what am I thinking at this moment? What am I feeling? What is going on around me? Taking all that into consideration. And then P is for proceed. Once you've had a chance to just to observe what is going on, what am I feeling, and how is my emotion affecting how I'm responding to this situation. I'd like us to practice that right now here in the session.
Yeah.
So just take some time, some slow breaths, and observe, please. Just
Now,
look,
supposed to
look
pray
down at the
or
floor. You can close your eyes or you can leave them
close
open.
your eyes? Okay.
And I just want to focus on the sound of my voice at this moment. And as you're taking in your deep breaths, and then slowly exhaling as many times as is needed. But just observe, what am I feeling right now?
Like about her, or?
Just yourself. Just yourself. Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling angry? Are you feeling attacked? Are you feeling misunderstood?
Pissed off.
Okay, that too. What are you, and what's going through your mind right now? What are you thinking? Just keep it to yourself. What's going through my thoughts right now? About the other person or about myself?
You don't want us to say them, right?
No, keep it to yourself. This is just you taking an inventory of what's going on. And when you're ready, you can look up at me and I'll know you want to proceed. Okay. All right. So anything that you particularly want to share that just came to mind? And I'd like us to talk one at a time, so we'll start with you, Jason.
You know, I felt like that was really good because, like, you know, I think when she was trying to talk, I was interrupting, and I can tell that makes her frustrated. And when I try and walk off, I can tell that makes her mad. And so when I stop and really think about, okay, is the way I just acted mature? It's like what a 2-year-old would do. So, you know, I can see how she'd probably get mad at me for acting like that. I can see where I could improve in how I act sometimes.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you for your honesty and your transparency. Shelley, what do you have at this point, if anything, that you'd like to share?
That felt really good. Just to be for a few seconds.
Excellent. All right. Well, what I'd like to suggest as homework for this week until we meet again next week is to practice the STOP acronym. I actually have a little handout I'll send with you before you leave today, just talking about each step.
That'd be really good, yeah.
The stopping, the taking the breaths, the observing, the proceeding. And I would suggest, you can do this at any point throughout the day, but especially if you need to have a conversation with each other that you feel could become heated. Or even if you are starting to get into a conversation and you feel yourselves becoming escalated, say to one another, let's take a moment and stop. And do that, and then come back together and see if that helps you get through a conversation without feeling like in the end all you did was attack one another or misunderstood one another or felt invalidated. Does that sound doable?
Yeah, because we've never done anything but just like fight, and so now we have something to tell us what to do. And yeah, a handout would be really good because I'll probably forget.
Sure. And even I think it could be helpful too if you write down what you observe when you get to that observe part and you're observing thoughts and emotions and just the circumstances. Write it down, and then we can talk about some of that next week.
So bring it in next week. Okay.
Yes, I can
That
do that.
sounds good.
All right, thank you.